Hello, I'm Savallion, a software dev slash creative. Today I want to do a video game review. I've been streaming for about 2 years, and I've mostly streamed games, and I've never taken the time to talk about how I felt about those games, so that's what we're doing today. I want to look at things that I like and ask, why do I like this? What do I feel like it adds to the game? What's good game design? I'm not going to do a questionnaire or anything too rigid, but I tend to think about games from that perspective, so that's probably what it's going to consist of. To start us off in this series, I think it'll be a series, we're going to talk about YouTuber's Life 2. You can get this game on Steam. It came out last year sometime. This is not sponsored, I just picked it up recently and I liked it. And also, it's weird. And something specific that's weird about it is that it's very different from the first YouTuber's Life. This is a type of game that I really like usually. It is a simulation game. It's all about what it's like to be a YouTuber. And so it's got a little bit of life sim in there, a little bit of like tycoon game. It has that very satisfying loop of putting in effort and seeing results and growing. So the first game, YouTuber's Life 1, you stay in your bedroom pretty much the entire time. There's little events where you leave, but in YouTuber's Life 2 really just blew it up. So YouTuber's Life 2 is a much more open world. You are in a town, you can talk to people who live in town. They really changed how the game feels. The second one feels a little bit more like a complete life sim, and there's a story. The first game, as far as I can remember, did not have a cohesive story. They had kind of a tutorial basically that would pop up once in a while and kind of tell you how to progress. But this one, it actually has a story with characters. There's a lot of YouTubers in the game that are like based on real people. There's this whole host of videos on real YouTube in which the YouTuber meets themselves in the game, which I saw that and I thought it was so funny. So what I'm going to do next is actually show some gameplay, and I'm going to explain each game mechanic and whether I like it, whether I don't like it, and whether I think it works. So let's get into that. I've been playing for I think about 12 hours now. Probably more than I should. I have a lot of other things I need to do, but I'm just gonna start it up. We're gonna see what happens, see how this all works together, and maybe you can get an idea for whether you would like to play this game as well. Just as in YouTuber's Life 1, time management is very important in this game. You wake up in the morning, you have until 4 a.m. the next day to do what you need to do. And at that point you pass out, which is pretty typical for games like this. This basically just allows the game to reset everything. If you don't reset like all the NPCs and their behaviors and all the objects at some point, things can just get really messy. I think this is a big problem that The Sims had, which is why they took out open worlds when they remade Sims 4. But every time you sleep, when the morning loads, it shows you all of the trends for the next day. And this is a big part of the game, is watching these trends and taking advantage of them, because the better trends are going to attract more viewers. There are different colors for different levels of like trendiness, but even if you can't remember what the colors mean, like me, they put the most popular ones near the top and the least popular ones near the bottom. There are also commissions, which can be really good for earning money. Especially late game. I was surprised by how drastically the payouts increased from the beginning of the game, but they're just little jobs you can do. Early on, it's a lot of making deliveries or posting a certain picture on the game's version of Instagram, which I think they've called Insta Life. And then as you progress, you can get video, like sponsored videos basically, or sponsored live streams. And this is kind of the alternative to the side job mechanic of the first game. It just ties everything a little bit more into the idea that you are a YouTuber and not just like sort of picking up odd jobs. You do have to manage your energy. It drains quite a bit when you film videos, and then it drains slightly less when you edit videos. So once you have some money to spend, it can be a good idea to stock up on food. I'm gonna grab some food from the ramen place down the street to prepare to record a few videos today. And there are a few different ways to record videos that they introduce you to as you unlock more of the game. I have the ability to do commentary at my PC, gameplay videos at my game station in my apartment, or I can vlog or live stream from any of the drone points scattered around the city. Which brings me to my next point. In this game you use a drone for filming. They give it to you for free at the beginning of the game. And I think they did this because, you know, the alternative, having the player set up like a tripod and lighting and stuff, I think that would just be too much for a simple game like this. So this was their response to, like, how do we allow players to film anywhere without having to bring their whole setup with them. It might have benefited the gameplay if they did do something like that, if you had to like buy a new camera or get some filters or things like that. Like, I think that might have been a little bit fun, but they've decided to focus on like the content of the videos rather than the stuff you're filming them with. And honestly, I think that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to dock them any points for that. I just think it would have been interesting the other way. So today in game, I have the vlog trend pretty high, and so I can do one of those. And there's also a dancing challenge at the beach. So I'm going to form a strategy to go there, capture the dance challenge with that in-game version of Instagram, and film that vlog. Some of the things in-game have these little mini games when you play them. And this dance contest is one of them. It's just a memory game that you play. You repeat back the moves, and if you get them all, you have successfully, I guess, danced. I don't think there's a prize or anything, but I have unlocked the dance challenge trend, and we can see that that point has popped up just on screen right here. And it's orange, which is a pretty good, I don't think that's the best trend popularity, but it's pretty far up there, might be the second best. In general, there are a lot of trends based on things that are happening in the town, which is, you know, them taking advantage of this big new world that they've added. But a good chunk of the trends in game are around video games or specific game consoles. So this is really pretty heavily centered around gaming YouTube. The first YouTuber's Life did things a little bit differently because instead of just being a YouTuber, you specialized. You had to pick a track from the beginning, so there was games, food, music, and they may have added more later, I can't quite remember. But in this one, you don't have to specialize, you can choose any topics at any time, but there is a huge focus in gaming. A lot of the trends are around gaming, so if you are someone who wants to play this as a different kind of YouTuber, unfortunately you might be kind of out of luck. I think real YouTube is so diverse, there's so much more, so it is a little bit strange to me that they've expanded the game in so many ways, but in this way, you know, building up the story around your YouTube channel and playing your character and making them unique to you, which I think is the draw to a lot of these sort of life business sims. They didn't really support that, so I don't know if maybe they've got some DLC plans to add variety, or if this is just how it's gonna be, and that's probably my biggest negative note about the game. So let's make a video and see what that looks like. I'm gonna do a vlog right next to this dance challenge to capture that trend. Once you are at the drone point or at your PC and record a video, you go through this little mini game. It's the same kind of game from YouTuber's Life 1, just a little bit polished up. The cards that you can pick are a little bit different. You unlock these as you play the game. You go through rounds of picking a card that you want to use that represents some sort of action, and then each card fills or potentially drains a property of the video. I don't totally know what these mean, they're just emojis, but I mean, you can kind of guess the vibe that they're getting, and I think you want to fill as many of them as possible. At the end of the minigame, you can see the results and choose to save or discard the footage. And then you have to edit the video, which you do back at your home PC, just like real life. So authentic. The editing minigame is also very similar to the one in the first YouTuber's Life. All of the video clips that you picked with the cards are converted into these I mean, I guess they're still cards, they just look a little bit different with specific input and output points. So you want to link up as many of these points as you can. Sometimes clips have issues that you need to correct, like one of these has a copyright infringement icon on it, and if I use that, my video won't make any money, which is obviously bad. So there are some upgrades you can purchase in the editor to either change the input-output points, or I'm actually going to buy the copyright one. I didn't have it before filming this video, so that's 5,000 of these YouTube coins, and then to actually use it, I have to pay 3 editor points. So each of the editing actions and putting each clip onto the video costs a certain amount of PC power. It is also very expensive to upgrade pretty much anything in this game, but especially your PC. So I'm basically running the bare bones setup still after all of my progress in this game. But as you buy better computer parts to get more power, you can do more things in editing. I mean, it makes sense. That's very similar to how the first game worked as well. And this is another point that I think has been slightly unbalanced in the game. It feels like a lot of the stuff you can buy in the game is incredibly expensive. It's taken me quite a while to build up the income just to buy the mandatory things that you need to advance the story, and also like to buy food to eat, regenerate energy. I haven't really had the ability to buy many PC or editor upgrades because the PC parts do eventually break and you just have to replace them. So I've been scraping by, replacing them with the lowest quality part because the next step up is an enormous step up. It seems like it's very expensive, which I guess is realistic. It is hard just to make a living as a YouTuber. I mean, I'm not doing it. I actually don't make any money off YouTube right now in real life, but I feel like this is a game and this is a place where the game could loosen up a little bit and let the player explore. Once you publish your video, it starts generating likes and dislikes immediately, and they do this little animation that kind of makes it seem like all the likes and dislikes of your video come in like within a few minutes, which is funny and also quite unrealistic. But I guess they needed some way to sort of display to the user how this video was received. And then after you publish it, it kind of fades into the background, but it continues generating subscribers and views for about a day. I don't know if it's exactly a day, but the subscribers will tick up. There's little sounds like bloops and bleeps that happen as you're going about your activities. And then at some point the video will count as finished and it will stop generating those likes and subscribers. My guess is that this was an attempt to simplify the systems behind the game, because like in real life, videos can potentially be viewed forever, you know, as long as they're available. But in this game, they really focus on new content. You always want to be publishing to get another like fresh batch of subs. And it makes sense from a gameplay perspective. It would probably be pretty difficult to keep track of all the videos you've ever made in the game. But as an analytics nerd, I would really love to see, you know, all of that old data, some growth, like a growth chart, or a list of all the videos I've made. I think that could be really fun, but I understand why they did it the way that they did. When you're not actively working on videos, there are also little quests to do around town. If you talk to enough people, you will gain friendship with them and they may ask you to do something. There are also a few secrets scattered around. There are USB thumb drives you can find pretty much everywhere, a couple of secret areas, and places that you can only access once you reach a certain level of fame. The town and the people in it do add this feeling of liveliness. It does kind of feel like you're living here. And there are both like named NPCs that you can talk to and interact with, and there are like unnamed NPCs that are just there to fill out the world. And as you start getting more popular, those unnamed NPCs will react to you as you walk by. So they'll recognize you and have a little emoji pop up above their head, and I think that's a really cute touch. There is also one last type of content that you can make, at least at the point of the game I'm in, and that is a live stream. You do have to unlock the ability to stream by playing through some of the story quests, but eventually you can do live streams at any of the drone points or at your PC. And instead of the card selection, it has a different mini game that I think is really fun. It's like DDR, but obviously you play with your hands on the arrow keys. It's a little rhythm game for you to enjoy, and each of the arrows you hit, I believe, just increases the quality of the video, your current viewers, and then with the live stream option, you generate a little bit of money up front rather than having to wait until it's gone through its publishing cycle to get paid. So it can be a quick way to get some money. And the cool thing is that you can save the live stream footage and edit that into a video. So you can get a little bit more bang for your buck. I have noticed that the live streams don't make as good of videos, and that could be by design, or it could just be that my character's live streaming skill is fairly low right now. So I'm not totally sure, but I don't see much harm in just making the video anyway. So that is really the main loop of the game. We've seen most of it. There are little detailed features that I didn't cover, but that's pretty much what you do in YouTuber's life. So that is the main loop of the game. You wake up, you make some videos, you talk to some people, you do some quests, and then you earn more subscribers, and you keep doing that until you're the best YouTuber in NewTube City. And I think it is called NewTube City. I'm not 100% sure on that. I honestly really like games like this. I like going through those little loops and seeing my character grow slowly but surely, getting a little bit better through effort and struggle. I find that really compelling. I also find it weirdly inspiring for me as a YouTuber. I feel like you start with nothing, you get like 10 likes on your first video, which honestly to me seems a little bit high for a first video. But you start with nothing, you can barely make any money, you're scraping by, and it just feels so good when you keep pushing. You go through the steps, you just have to film the videos, you have to make them a little bit better each time, you have to grow your skills. And there's something about seeing a pretend character go through that struggle that makes me feel like I could do that. I should make a YouTube video now. So I did. I'm here. But whenever I play, I get that feeling of like, I just want to make something. I want to build something up and make it better. And I think that's great. I think it's a great side effect of this silly little YouTube game. Overall, I would recommend this game to anyone who likes business sims or who just likes quirky little games where you get to run around and do things. Business sims are probably one of my top favorite games. I just love the management. I love the numbers. I love, like I mentioned, that feedback loop, that cycle where you do something and it works or it doesn't work and you try again and again and again. Like, I think that's a great framework for a game like this, and I think it can be really fun. It is not terribly challenging, it's pretty easy. The story's kind of floofy, it's very silly, and there were multiple points where I was just like, wow. Like, it's so out of left field. I won't spoil any plot points because I think that would be a huge bummer, but like I mentioned, you do meet several real YouTubers that you might know. I didn't know a lot of them because I tend to stay in my little nook on YouTube and I don't really get into the big gaming channels, but that's another appeal if you just want to see how they're portrayed in the game. I thought it's been a little bit funny and whimsical there as well. And I would also recommend this game to anyone who wants to feel like they're growing on social media without doing any work, because it does sort of simulate that experience pretty effectively, I would say. Speaking of not wasting time and doing the work, I'm gonna wrap this up so I can edit this video, get it out there. Gotta hit those daily trends and pump out 3 videos a day, just like the game taught me to. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, or more videos that are not like this one, but that are made by me, because I'll be back soon with another video, and I hope to see you there. Bye bye bye!